welcome back to Grandma's house. I'm glad you're here. Pull up to the table if you dare to drop some knowledge. That's all we speak here. Welcome back to Grandma's house. I'm Grandma MC Meek, aka Shamika Davis Boyd, welcoming all grandparents to a podcast where they get to speak out freely about situations they are dealing with in their everyday lives in these uncertain times. Hello everyone, and thank you for being a part of a community of grandparents that wants to make a difference in their grandchildren's lives. Today's topic, how can we be better grandparents? Let's talk about it. Grandparents, let's get back to that old school behavior. I know some of us grandparents look very young to be grandparents, but the fact is we are grandparents, and we cannot act like these Generation Z parents. We can't look or act like them, period. We have to be an example to these grandchildren. Let's start watching our behavior around our grandchildren. Our bad language, the way we wear our clothes, being appropriate in front of our grandchildren, how we keep our house, and how we act in the street. For example, when we drop our grandchildren off at school, if some of us who do that, let's watch how we dress when we go up to the school. Let's not wear hair bonnets, slippers on our feet. Make sure let's not just jump out of the bed because they're late and we're rushing them to school. The way we look and the way we carry ourselves in front of our grandchildren is the way they are going to look at us, and how they're going to respect us, and how they're going to respect us when we're not with them. So as grandparents, we need to set an example, and we cannot be like these Gen Z parents of today, because even though we taught them what they should do, they're at their age, they want to do what they want to do. So we are going to be the prime examples. The one that's in this community, we want to be able to come together and know and learn from each other, of what we should tell each other, and how we should let our children, our grandchildren know that we are there for them, mentally, physically, and emotionally, in every which way. And it starts by the way we look, how we carry ourselves, so they will know when they're with us, they will know how to look and how to carry themselves. Remember, grandchildren, when they are lacking anything from their parents, our grandchildren look for us for guidance and structure in their lives, even if they don't say so. And if they cannot find guidance from their parents or from us, they will go to the streets and get what they're looking for. So it's our job as grandparents, when their parents are not doing or not able to do anything for them, it's our job to step up and be their second parent, their second guardian in their lives. I have 5 statements. Let's get into them. Grandparents, stop talking and gossiping grown people conversation around our grandchildren. We're giving them information that they are not old enough to understand. So it's, back in the days they used to say, children walk out the room when you have a conversation that they didn't want us to hear. We have to get back into that. Our grandchildren should not sit around and hear us arguing with someone, speaking about things that's inappropriate, because remember, like I said, they watch us. And if we want them to have respect for us, we have to respect ourselves at all times, non-negotiable, so that is one rule that I believe that we should start doing, watching what we say and how we speak in a conversation we have around our grandchildren. And it's not cute for them to know things that's going on that's inappropriate as a grown person's conversation. So, like I said, number 1, watch what we say in our conversation around our grandchildren. Let's get into number 2. Number 2, let's start teaching our grandchildren about our ancestors, meaning our grandmothers, our grandfathers, where we come from. What's our name? I said that before in another segment. Our name, not just letting our children say grandma, grandpa. Tell them what's your name, your whole name. Every grandchild should know your name, just in case you take them somewhere and they get lost or miss for a little bit, and they say, what's your grandma name? You was with your grandma. My grandma name is Grandma. No, they need to know your whole name so they can get the help they need. Okay, and then let them know about your mother, so they know their great grandmother, and let them know the great grandmother's name. That's what we're missing from our community. A lot of these children, they know all the hip hop's their names. They know all their names and everything, but they don't know their great grandmother's name. And that's sad. And they don't know their grandparents' name. So let's get back into speaking up to them about their ancestors. Where they're from. Let's start sitting down with our grandchildren and teaching them where we come from. Where were we born? How about that? Let's educate them, just in case their parents is not telling them. They don't have to hear from their parents. They can hear from us, because that's a way of bonding. So that's very important. I think getting to know each other. Because as grandparents, we think that our grandchildren really know us. They don't know us unless we teach them about us. And nobody have to tell them about us if we're alive. So let's get more into that. So this is something that's very important to me, And if your grandparent, their great grandparent has passed on, tell them about them. Tell them about them anyway. Tell them something that was special and that they had a part of your life. And for the grandchildren the children out here that does not have grandparents, you can let them know that there's a lot of people that do not have grandchildren, and they will love to be a part of their life. So there's something that we're going to talk about later on. Like there's a lot of places that have hospitals with, older adults in it that need to see children, need to be around children. So, think about that, that's another, they could be a part of our community, So like I said, number 2, let's start teaching our grandchildren about us and about their great grandparents, and every grandchild should know our full name. Number 2. Number 3, it's important to leave a legacy for our grandchildren. For example, trust fund, a will, property, land, art, heirlooms. These are all the things, and etc. It's other things that's out here, but I just want to give you a little example. Sometimes you can have earrings or an heirloom, something that you had in your house for years, from generation to generation, and there's a grandchild that you want to leave it to. You need to put that in writing. You need to start putting these things together now and telling people, write it down. This is the grandchild I want to have this, and this is the grandchild I want to have that. Also, when I say art, what I did was I had bought black art, so I said it's really for my children, but hopefully it's going to be for my grandchildren down the line. It's going to be worth money later on, but this is the thought of just buying art and be able to leave when I'm not here anymore. The legacy, I'm building a legacy. As you can see, I have my clothes on, Quickie Kids, I wrote children books, and it's for my grandchildren, so I didn't know this when I was young. I had children very young, so I didn't know how important this is now. But now that I have grandchildren and I'm knowledgeable about things now, I want to set it forth to be able to do something for my grandchildren, leave a legacy for them. So, and all of us can do this. And I just want grandparents, definitely in this community, that wants to be a part of their grandchildren's lives and want to make a difference, to start setting aside something for their grandchildren. It doesn't have to be expensive, but it has to be from you to them. So that's very important to me. So I hope it's important to you. It's just a conversation piece. If you don't agree with it, or something else that can be given to that we all can give to our grandchildren that I didn't speak about today, let me know. My ears are open for it, and probably others are too. Okay, so that's number 3. Okay, leaving a legacy for your grandchildren, leaving land. If you have land, give it to your grandchildren, but give it to the ones that's responsible. And you can put something together that no one can sell the land. I forgot the word right this minute, but It's something that you cannot sell the land, and it stays in the family for life, and again, heirlooms is anything that you had that's passed down from generation to generation. So that's number 3. If you know something that I didn't speak of today, please leave a message below, and let me know. Okay, number 4. Okay, this is really important to me. I think it's fun too. Let's start getting our grandchildren involved in recipes, cleaning techniques that we do as grandparents. Let's see, praying habits, working skills like fixing things, that how the way we do it. Reading story time. Like I said, I wrote children books, so that's very important. And our children today need to learn how to read. So when their parents can't do it, or they're at work and they're too tired, when they come around us, even if we put the book in the child's hand and give them some words out of there, it helps. Okay, so let's get more involved in that. We as grandparents, we need to learn how to do technology things together with the grandchildren, so we could teach the grandchildren the old school what we did. And thank God they are smart enough to teach us what they know, because they are very good with the computers these days. But by us learning how to do these things, we also get a chance to bond with our grandchildren, so they do on something they like to do, like being on those doggone computers. Okay, and one of the things that's very special to my heart is calling each other. So don't let us be, as grandparents, we have to call our grandchildren. Let's teach them to call us. And it goes to something today, and my grandson, he called and said, "Grandma, I'm going to be playing football today, and I'm going to get a touchdown. And my touchdown, I'm going to do the sign you say, and it's going to be for my grandma." And I mean, that lit my day up today. It meant so much to me, because my grandson, yes, he's 12. He called and he said that to me, and it means a lot, because it should be a two-way. I call you sometimes, you call me. Again, bonding, So when the parents do not tell our children to do this, our grandchildren to do it, it's our job to tell them, listen, call grandma, call papa, come check on us, and vice versa, And I always tell my grandchildren, especially my grandsons, listen, when your father is not around, y'all are to make sure grandma is okay. When your father's not around, I always instill that in them, so they can know as they growing up as young men and as a man, that you have to help take care of grandma, because you are a young man, and it's your responsibility to get involved in making sure we are all safe as women. So I always told them that. So for my grandson to call today and say that, oh my God, that touched my heart. So we want our grandchildren to get involved with that. Okay, so let's get to the recipes and stuff. When I mean recipes, and you can have your grandson or your granddaughter help you in the kitchen. My motto: no kids in the kitchen. I don't play with the kids in the kitchen, unless you're 12 and older. But little kids, no, unless they're with their parents or their grandparents. Okay, so let me make sure I state that. Okay, so little recipes that you do for Thanksgiving and stuff, let them help you mix things up. Speak to them about it. Tell them what recipes you use, but you don't ever give all your recipes, everything, but you put your seasonings. Don't do that until they get older. Let them crave for stuff like that. Okay, cleaning techniques, how you clean things that is totally different from the children. These generational Z children clean different than us, but just because their parents do things one way, you can show them another way how we do it as grandparents. So that's good. Praying habits. My grandchildren, when they come to my home and they eat any food I prepare for them, they have to pray over their food. Now, do their parents make them do that at their house? I don't know. I still did it in my children. Now, like I said, these generational Z children, they think they know more than us. So, but when their kids get with me, I have them pray over their food, and it's very important. So as grandparents that's in this community, let's start instilling that into our grandchildren. Praying over them. Even when we know they're going to go to school, we let them know we're going to pray for you. When they leave our house, I put my hand on my grandchildren and I pray for them. And they know that grandma's going to do that. So I think that's a good thing, a good habit to get into. Okay? Fixing things. Grandfathers, grandmas too, we could fix the little things. But, letting the boys and the girls be a part of their grandfather, teaching them how to fix things, put screwdrivers and nails, and letting them know different parts of the tools. Is very important. That's again a part of bonding and stuff. So let's get more into that, okay? Let's get more into that kind of things with our grandchildren so we can all bond, okay? So that's number 4. If you agree with me, let me know. If I'm leaving out some things, tell me, so we can all come up with something so we can be what? Better grandparents for our grandchildren, okay? Number 5, grandparents. Let's stop telling our grandchildren that they ask too many questions. Let's encourage them to ask us more questions, and we as grandparents give them the answers they are looking for. That's why I came up with the character Mr. Nosy, my husband and I. We want children to be nosy in a positive way. That means they can ask as many questions they need to ask, and we as the parents, the guardians, the grandparents, as to sit down and speak to them. Answer the questions that they are asking us and give it to them so they don't have to go out and ask anybody else. Because like I said, we as grandparents are their second parents, so sometimes, again, the parents don't have time to speak to them. They're working, they're doing whatever they're doing. They being the Generation Z parents, and they're just different. They're just different than how we are and how we was raised. I'm not saying it's good or bad. What I'm saying is it's just not like we are, So the children, if they ask you a question, let's start answering the questions. Let's not just push them away, okay? So let them ask us as many questions they need to ask. Let the grandchildren be nosy in a positive way. So that's what we want to do. If you agree with that, let me know. If you have another solution to that, of maybe a lot of grandparents think old school, kids ask too many questions. Well, these days they should ask a lot of questions because a lot of things are going on in this world. And when your grandchildren are able to come to you with questions, that means they trust you. And we need to be trusted because sometimes they can't speak to their parents. So if they could come to us and tell us what they want to ask us, and we could give them the answer they need, we probably could save their lives or stop them from doing something that they're not supposed to be doing. It's very, very, very important to me as a grandma that I let my grandchildren know that they always come to me for whatever. I don't play shy with them. I talk to their parents, and I will ask their parents, can I speak to their child about certain situations? And if once I get the go, I get the go. But if something is really, really serious, I'm going to take it serious with the grandchild, and it's very important. So let's get involved in making our grandchildren comfortable so they'll be able to come to us and tell us anything they need. Ask us questions that's probably uncomfortable or they don't know, but we're going to be the adults to be able to sit there and be uncomfortable to keep them safe. So that's something that's very, very important. I think that as grandparents, we'll do a good job at it. Not saying that the parents won't, but we're going to do a good job at it because why? We've been there, we did that, and whatever mistakes we did with our children, we are better equipped now to help our grandchildren. So let's use our knowledge and wisdom that God gave us to make our grandchildren more knowledgeable about this world so they can be in this world and do better. Because when we was growing up, everything was like swept under the rug. Parents didn't really talk about things to us. We had to guess stuff, or our friends told us stuff, and we could have did better if we knew better. So now that now that I'm a grandmother and I know better, I will do better. So that's why I built this community, so we can help each other be better and be better grandparents for our grandchildren. So let me know what you think about that. Okay, so I got a bonus number 6 for you. Okay, and it's very important what I'm going to say. This is the bonus question, statement, I mean. Okay, so years ago, I was a foster mother. I fostered teenagers. I had a lot of teenagers. I even had, I had babies and I had teenagers as a foster mother. And there's a lot of grandparents out here that do not get to see their grandchildren. They don't have grandchildren, but they, that's around them. There's people that didn't have children at all, so they never became a biological grandparent, But guess what? There can be foster grandparents, okay, which is very, very important. I want to let you know. So the people that's in the community of being a better grandparent to their grandchildren, believe me, there are children out here who need grandparents. They do not have grandparents. Their grandparents could have passed away, or their grandparents live in different states, but they can still be a part of other people's grandparents, and they can go to the hospitals, and because there's a lot of people in the hospital do not see children, do not have their grandchildren no more, and they will love to see children. And for me, I have 9 grandchildren, but I always would love to have another grandchild, so I could be a foster grandmother. I will never tell a child that wants me to be their grandma that you're not my grandchild. If they want to accept me, I will accept them, because again, it takes a village to raise children, you know. And if I have something to give to a child in need and a child that want to be a part of my life, I will be that. So I hope the people that's a part of this village, a part of our community, will love to take in children to be a grandparent, to give them your wisdom, your knowledge, and they can say grandma and grandpa. Because remember, it doesn't take blood to be a mother to a child. It doesn't take blood to be a grandmother to a child. It takes love, and love is priceless. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that is one of my bonus things to let people know. That they say, well, I don't have a grandchild, so this community is not important. I don't have nothing to give back to this community. You have so much to give, so much to give back. And starting with just wisdom, just being in this world, what can you give back? You have a lot to give back, but it has to come from your heart. You have to want to give back. And if you can be a grandparent to a child that needs you, you giving back a lot. Okay, so again, if you have something to say about that, my bonus question, please drop it in the link down below. Leave me a message, because this community is for grandparents that wants to make a difference. Even if you don't have a blood grandchild, you still could be a part of this community. We want you to bring your wisdom, your knowledge, and help us make a difference. Okay, none of us is perfect. We are learning every day. You know what I'm saying? And we have to make a difference for our grandchildren. We have to make a difference for our children that we had birthed. And it's not about them no more. They're grown. We did our part with them. It's about the babies, okay? And letting them know who we are. Grandparents, we are no longer babysitters. We are grandparents that's going to get out here and be involved in our grandchildren. Okay, and that brings me to the last thing I have to say before I end this segment. Grandparents, we don't want to get old with our grandchildren. We want to get involved with our grandchildren. Quickie Kids is going to have a place where grandparents and grandchildren can go for entertainment, with learning and having fun with each other. Where we get to bond with our grandchildren with games and fun and learning. We need a place for grandparents to be with our grandchildren that's for us, so we can have things to do with them that's going to make us bond and enjoy each other while we're here. Okay? Grandparents, there's no more just sitting around the house. We don't want to just sit around. We don't want the generational G parents to just drop the kids off at our house. We want to be able to go out with them in a special place, which we are building, Quickie Kids, where you can come, bring your grandchildren, and we will have activities there where you and your grandchildren can do things together to have fun. Okay, so it's coming soon. Just look for it, Quickie Kids, near you. It will be here soon. Okay, so I wanted to let you know that we getting things together for that. And if you have any questions about that, let us know. The donation, thank you. And remember, my book is on all the platforms where books are sold. It's called Grandma Has a Mouse in Her House. And before I close out, I just want to say thank you to everyone who tuned in and listened to the segment for today. And for all the grandparents that's in the community that wants to make a difference in their grandchildren's lives. And remember, Grandma's house is always open. If you are a grandparent and you are dealing with the same situation or a similar situation, subscribe, hit that like button, and leave a comment down below. Because grandparents, we must stick together if we want things to change. Bye for now, and always remember, Grandma's house is always open.